Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published so they can educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable business intermediaries from across the country, and joining me on this segment is Michael Mauger. He's an associate broker with McGrath Business Group in Tampa. Michael, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mark.
Michael, tell us a little bit about your work, and specifically, who are the types of clients that you specialize in working with?
Great question. I am a business broker as well as a commercial real estate broker. Those two go hand in hand. Specifically, I work with my clients to sell their business and also to work with clients who are looking to purchase businesses. There are a lot of people migrating from the Northeast down to Florida. And so that segment of the market is growing very rapidly.
I understand a lot of folks don't really understand the process of selling a business, and some people might think it's like selling a home. How prepared are businesses when it comes time to sell?
It ranges from very prepared to unprepared. The most important things that a business needs to do to prepare is to understand what their business is worth. That's through a discussion typically with me or their accountant. Then to also have very strong financial statements so that we can explain the business to the prospective buyers so they understand how the business works.
Are there any myths or misconceptions that float around out there that people may get wrong in regards to selling a business?
They typically think it's worth a lot more than it is. The market determines the price, not necessarily the seller. And the selling price is typically a function of the profitability or owner benefit of the business, and that's what the market values the businesses based on that figure.
There's a statistic out there that says that 80% or more businesses that go on the market end up not selling. What's the breakdown? What causes a business not to sell?
A couple of reasons, Mark. First would be just a lack of clarity in their financial situation. A lot of businesses don't have good books and records. So that would probably be number one. Number two would be just an unrealistic expectation of what they can achieve in the form of a purchase price. A lot of people think their business is worth a lot more than it really is.
When it comes time to selling a business, if you're considering selling, how much time do you need to really prepare it? And how far in advance should they prepare, and what should they do in that time?
I think the most important thing for them is to consult a qualified business broker to give them an understanding of what the process is. The first step would be to put a value on the business, and that requires some accounting exercises to go through to define that owner benefit. And then we talk about how to market the business. Some people are wanting to keep it confidential, and therefore the broker has a little bit more difficulty in placing the ads out on the internet because they don't want it to be known. And the process typically takes between 6 and 9 months to get to a conclusion and get to the closing table. But there are a number of steps in between, defining what's being sold, what's included in the sale, whether or not the employees will continue to stay on, whether inventory is included, whether accounts receivable is included, whether or not they're willing to sign a non-compete. A lot of people don't want to buy a business when, in fact, the seller is going to open up a shop right down the street. So a lot of those things are factored in and typically covered through the process of negotiation.
Right now, we're just coming out of this recent pandemic, and the question on a lot of folks' mind is this really a good time to sell a business or buy a business for that matter? What have you experienced in the market?
Well, I think in Tampa anyway, the market is extremely hot. There are a lot of people moving to the area. And so a lot of people that are retiring from the Northeast or Chicago or other colder places want to move to Florida, and they're bringing some significant money with them and want to set up their own business. And so I get a lot of people looking to do that. I also get a lot of people from out of the country looking to buy their way in, so to speak, through a visa, through the purchase of a business. And there's some programs that are available to foreigners looking to gain citizenship through the purchase of a business.
That's a fascinating insight. I'm not sure a lot of people consider that. Michael, what inspired you to become a business broker and get into this field? How did you get started?
I was working at corporate America and was in the process of helping to buy and sell the division in which I worked. And through that process, I kind of got the deal fever. And based on that, and being impacted by right sizing, downsizing, and outsourcing, I wanted to do something that I could control my own destiny. And so, therefore, I moved to Florida from the Northeast and wanted to help people sell businesses and to buy them to achieve their financial dreams. And doing that, I worked for myself, or actually, obviously, working with McGrath Business Group. However, I basically control my daily activities and enjoy working with other entrepreneurs to fulfill their dreams.
Michael, before I ask you my last question, is there anything that I didn't think to ask that you feel is important to share with folks considering selling a business in today's economy?
I think people need to understand that it's not an easy process, that it typically takes 6 to 9 months. It's not like selling a car or a house. It's a process, and there's a lot of relationship building that needs to go on between buyer and seller during that process. And there's got to be a good feeling and good fit so that they can go to the closing table, both feeling like they're achieving a win.
For folks listening now that are considering selling their business and they know they need to get their things in order and speak to a qualified broker, and if they'd like to speak with you, how do they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Well, first they can Google my name, Mike Mauger, on the internet. My website is doylemcgrath.com. You can find me there, and I'm also in a lot of the websites that contain my listings, which include bizbuysell.com and also bbf.com. That's the Business Brokers of Florida, where I have my portfolio of businesses for sale.
Michael, this has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. It was a pleasure being here.
That was Michael Mauger, an associate broker with the McGrath Business Group. And this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.